in the big bilge tank. We'll keep you in the know in the big bilge tank. We'll fix your techie woes,
And we'll break things and we'll make things till we're all together raking, and
we'll
we'll
raise a cup of grog down in the big bilge tank. In the big bilge tank. Come and join our pirate crew in the big bilge tank.
We will show you what to do.
And we'll hack it till we crack it.
and we'll tell the world about it and forget to tidy up.
That's why it's now a bilge tank.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to Bilge Tank 038, where we are in utter chaos and disarray this week.
As usual.
Yeah, absolutely, as usual. So somebody's already noticed the new test card, lovingly built by Sandy and Phil today. They took the task of making a new test card really.
I have to say, it was mostly Sandy. He took it way too seriously.
Yeah, his missus knitted him a hat and everything.
It's incredible.
Yeah. We love arts and crafts though, that's alright. So this week we're mainly going to be talking about a few Zero things, and there's going to be cameras all over the shop. Yeah. My shirt's a bit camp apparently.
Everyone's made that same joke. Why
Really?
did I think of that one first? I thought it was a bit intense, but hey. What am I going to do?
Yeah, total badum-tish. So I think we're doing pretty well with catching up with orders. We said we'd be a couple of days late. I think we're pretty much finishing off the last few gnarly orders from Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday should follow pretty quickly because the volume of PiZero sales kind of goes yeah, and then kind of calms down to something that's not. This time, what was it? I think it was still 10 times normal volume.
Yeah, it was.
But we're hoping to smooth that out. We don't have a fixed date for the next batch of Zeros, but as soon as we find out something, we will let you know. I've left the window open so we have good nature sounds.
Full on Sheffield traffic sounds.
But that ties into the nature theme this week. So first thing
I
we
don't know
got,
why that's nature.
we finally had our NatureBytes Kickstarter delivered. They've had some problems in injection moulding because injection moulding is hard, but it's arrived and
Everyone is buffering. Is that
who's breaking the internet?
someone breaking the internet?
Yeah.
Really bad buffering.
Really bad buffering. Yeah. Oh, we're fine here. Yeah. We need to give everyone else better internet or something. Yeah. Hopefully that'll resolve itself because we can't actually see anything going massively wrong here. Yeah, YouTube reckons the health is good. So, I don't know.
Is that generally quite thingy?
Yeah.
Are we?
No, we're fine. We're watching ourselves live, and that's
ourselves
like weird.
Juttering, but that was me juttering and not the feed juttering. It looks good.
Yeah. Maybe we're just too high bandwidth this week. Yay. UK Scone's in New York and it doesn't seem to be buffering for him. So if you need more bandwidth, go to UK Scone.
This is the special New York edition of Bilge Tank, I guess, isn't
it? So anyway, NatureBytes kit, great injection moulding, beautiful case.
Looks very science fiction, the space age, and kind of disturbing a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So let's take a look at what's inside this thing. This is...
I love the fact that the case is also like a box.
So we open it up and what we have here is an A+, we've put Wi-Fi in this one, an SD card. It's then got in the front of it a Pi camera and a PIR sensor. We've got the original 5 megapixel camera in there, but you could upgrade that. And it's got a power boost from Adafruit in there, and a honking 4-cell lithium-ion battery.
That's a scarily giant battery. That will power it for
4 cells.
A long time. Right.
Hours, many hours. I don't know how good kind of power-saving features are, so if I plug that in, then hopefully there'll be some lights somewhere. Can't see any lights anywhere. Oh no, switch. So we've got a blue light, and we've got some power lights. Do you want to stick that under?
It's alive!
Let's stick that under close-up and see what happens. So that's just booting now, and the idea is you close that up in its weatherproof enclosure and you strap it to a tree. And we're going to have that strapped up at Pirate Towers.
Got a heck of a seal around here.
We're going to have that strapped up at Pi Towers, and it's going to do wonderful things like watch the birds, because Rory tends to feed the birds a lot here. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just making sure I'm not using bandwidth or anything here. Close all the windows.
Ta-da.
Close the windows.
Stop bandwidthing, man. Stop bandwidthing.
Yeah.
It's a little camera peeking out the front as well.
Yeah.
So what's the... Oh, PIR sensor, of course.
Yeah.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, what's that bit? Passive infrared.
So when the birds kind of move by.
That's cool. I can't remember, it was a forum thread or something about doing a Python example for passive infrared, where you basically would take film footage, a set time limit of film footage anytime the passive infrared triggered, rather than a photo, which is kind of the done thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if it gets re-triggered, the guy wanted to add more time to the film, so if something was kind of dancing around in front of the camera or being an elk or whatever it is that you do when you're in nature, then it would just keep adding a few seconds onto the film strip, and you'd get all of that action in one go, and then after the action stops happening, it will time out, save that file to disk, and then be on to the next video when it re-triggers. So
Yep.
I think that's quite a cool thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know how this works? How it shoots a video? Is it
Yeah.
just however
PIR
you
sensor
want
goes
it
off.
to
Yeah.
work? I guess, isn't it?
Ooh, it went there. I saw it go.
Did it?
The light just lit up. Do that
I
again.
just filmed myself.
It's not working now.
Stop
Phil.
filming yourself. Stop filming yourself. Presumably,
Mm.
it's got some sort of delay, so it doesn't just fill the disk full of photos.
So, is there a cut-off?
Tripod thread at the top.
Somebody's asking, is there a cut-off on the power booster? It does have a voltage warning, which is not hooked up by default, but you can perfectly hook it up if you want and shut things down before the LiPo battery runs down. We'd have to check, but there's usually a protection circuit in there anyway to stop the battery kind of going hard death voltage.
Yeah, that would be almost essential for this kind of thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
hard depth voltage is what you have a decent battery doodad for.
Yeah, I think China just said generally we're sick of people complaining about batteries dying. Let's just put a circuit in there to protect it. Problem solved from our end. Yeah. So I look forward to pictures of birds on something on our site. Yeah. And then let's go to the next bit of nature we've got. Phil shot this very lovely video.
That's not strictly nature, is it? But I guess it is.
It is nature.
It's preparation for the creation of nature.
Yeah.
We are literally now creating nature.
Yeah. So I've been going on a while about buying the hydroponics kit from IKEA, and finally got the last bit in stock. And today we've sowed the seeds. Here we go.
Been doing some
Seeds.
real
Got lots
gardening.
of seeds. Fill it with lukewarm water. There's the plugs. Chuck the plugs in the water.
you got to
Soak them for a couple of minutes. Fill it up with more water.
More water.
Lukewarm water.
water to the max.
Put the seed tray on. This is the thing I was waiting for.
Yay.
We've germinated 25 seed plugs with 3 varieties of lettuce. And now we've put the lid on, put the light on top, and we're going to see what happens there.
This is a rare outside of Bill Shank moment here.
Yeah.
Don't often see that.
Sandy's currently setting up a camera on it and trying to get live images working. So he's next door kind of sweating profusely and just like, shouting at a guy. Going,
Judging
why?
bias.
Why doesn't it work? Yeah. So we'll see how we come with the
I did
lettuce.
say it would slack us when it's finished. We haven't actually been watching Slack, so we
Yeah.
have no
We're
idea.
live on the internet, how can we watch Slack?
We can watch Slack when we're live on the internet. Allow me to cut to Slack.
Yeah. Let's reload the browser, see if there's anything there. Nothing yet. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Yeah, we're also looking at the CCTV kits, but we're just waiting for cameras to come back in stock because they sold out rather quickly on
I'm
Monday.
not surprised, really.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I mean, as soon as you put a camera connector on this, you've got this really, really tiny, ultra compact little setup that you can. As I said on Twitter a few minutes ago, you can literally fit this into anything, and it kind of redefines the meaning of selfie stick, because you could
Yeah.
put this into the selfie stick and have your selfie stick taking selfies while you selfie with your selfie stick.
I've got the battery, I've got the Pi Zero prototype, so I'm going to have that as a live camera
Just
because I keep wanting to back them on Kickstarter, but this is actually pretty cute. So you can have the Zero on the front with the camera, and you can have the battery on the back, and it just sits on your shoulder. Pirot. Because it's like a parrot, which...
yeah.
Pirate,
I
parrot.
see where you're going.
Yeah, okay. That's how we do kind of product creation here.
just puns. Everything's based around a pun.
Everything's puns, yeah.
So we've got a. Shall we put together the 1.3 case?
Yeah, Romney Cocking pointed out that we don't have fantastic instructions for the new PiBow case. And since it's a lot easier to share off the camera connector on this, it's probably good that we have that. So we're now going to demonstrate a full build of the new PiBow Zero case around a new Pi Zero, just to show you how it's done, and then we can put this on the product page later.
Let's do this scientifically and get some additional camera footage so we can. No. Put it there.
So
there.
I'll
there,
model
there,
the pieces
there,
here,
there,
and then you can do it close on camera, and it'll be good. Closer, man, closer.
Closer,
Zoom.
man.
Extreme closer. You'll have to explain what that means to your kids.
Just larking around now. Oh, right, so I've got to work that way around, which is back to front for me, so that's going to be a little bit challenging.
Well, let's flip this around.
Oh, yay! Ooh. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Still back to front for me, and there as well. I'm going to sit that there to remind me where my baseline is, and go. So, goes without saying, I know the packaging is lovely, but you do have to open it. I'm sorry. Just sorry. I can't open it because I'm a fool.
You can't open it neatly. Many have tried.
Many have tried. Many
Some have
failed.
failed. Many have died. So there we go. Very nice sweet packaging destroyed.
It's an acceptable sacrifice.
So, what have we got in
shall
here?
we start? We've got how many layers? 4 layers and a little shim.
The shim's the one that's
Which will
catching a few
become
people out,
apparent later.
which is understandable. So you've got numbered layers here. The thing about all PiBows is they have numbers in the same place in the corner of the layer.
Can I get one of those numbers to focus is the question.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Random
You
layer.
can practically see it anyway on this.
There we go. There's number 2. Number 2.
Yep. So you have a 0 just there.
Oh, you can just see it.
You have a 1 there. God, my fingernails. 2 there, and these numbers should all stack on top of each other. The only layer that's not generally labelled is the top one in the background here, but that goes on top.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah.
The tricky thing with this though is that you're like the PiBow, you're doing this first. So you're taking your layer 1 and putting it on top
Have you
of
removed your
layer
protective
0.
backing
I
yet?
haven't removed my protective backing.
Remove your protective backing.
I did an unboxing video of the PiBow for the Pi 2 a while back, I think, and totally forgot to remove all plastic backing in the video.
Yeah.
And then had to backpedal a little bit. And do it, so
Yeah.
plastic backing removed. Let's do them all, just so I don't stupefy myself.
Yeah.
Plastic backing removed.
There we go.
Yeah, you will.
Makes it more
You
crystal-like.
just get the edge with your nail generally and peel it back. It's very hard to do that and show it on camera at the same time. But backing removed. This, of course, is incredibly exciting for people who've known and used PiBows for forever.
They're just there going, I could do that so much better.
Who is this guy? He doesn't know what he's doing.
They let this guy on GitHub.
That's why they call it GitHub. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything new on the GitHub this week? Have we fixed NeoPixels again?
Ah, yes, we have fixed NeoPixels again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Raspberry Pi 0 1.3 and an obscure model of the B plus Pi, I think, were both causing hiccups with the Unicorn Hat library.
Mm-hmm.
And that is either now fixed or in the process of being fixed. So it's a thing. It's a thing in process. Okay, so we're going to take layer 1, which on the new 1.3 style PiBow 0 is the orange layer, orange. And we should put that on top of the red layer. Stop me if I'm doing this horribly wrong or I've got it flipped.
Looks good to me.
Basically the numbers are the guide, so as long as your numbers are stacked one on top of each other and aligned, then you know you haven't put the layer the wrong way up, which can get you later and does, especially with the larger PiBows. So we're going to take the super duper shim, which lifts the 0 just a little bit up.
Just provides
from
support under
layer,
the base.
provides a bit of support and drop
Cups
that
it
in there.
gently.
So
Yeah.
you're taking the first 2 layers and then dropping the shim in as a bit of support. And then basically the PCB is about 1.6 mil thick, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
1.2, somewhere between those two.
1.5 to 1.6, nominal
Measure that
1.6.
calipers if we want to do. These are very flat underneath as well compared to the original. Very smooth.
Yeah, the HDMI had a couple of nubbins which seem to not be there anymore, which is very nice.
HDMI D nubbin. So you then drop that into there. So now the Perspex shim and the Pi0 have basically made up the thickness of that layer. Let's get this on the camera. So it's all nice and held in there.
So that means you won't get pressure if you push down on the Pi.
At this point, if you're using a camera, you're going to have to add the ribbon cable, which will almost undoubtedly get the wrong way up. So let's have a picture in the connectors there. Contacts down, right? Contacts down.
Contacts down.
Contacts down, contacts down.
So make sure that's nice and level and in.
I thought I'd become the flat flex master because I built tons and tons of the displays, but apparently not. So at this point you want to be tucking your flat flex in. We have a surprise Sandy. Has he succeeded? Has he failed?
Hello.
He sneaked in.
It should be working now if you go to... Alright.
Ooh, go for it, yes. We're just trying to build a PiBow. So now you've plugged your camera connector cable in, you can proceed with the next layer again, aligning the numbers on this corner. It's a lovely vibrant yellow layer. And finally, last but not least, is the top. And you can generally see which way this goes by the two little icons, power and data, that align over the ports. And now comes the divider of many, the classic nuts down or nuts up. Do you want your Pi to be hacker style or tidy? So I'm going to go push the bolts through from the top. Oh, we have camera feed. Ooh. I should have placed the cans, ends up slightly bowed. Stop! Header not soldered! No, this will not have a header on. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure you could solder a header with this case on if you were very, very careful with your soldering iron tip.
Acrylic has a very low melting temperature.
It's not going to break your soldering iron. You're going to break the case. You're crazy like me. Nearly there. This is the least exciting part of the build, basically just hand tightening the nuts. And they only need to be hand tightened, they don't need to crush the case to oblivion. And ta-da! Beautiful 3-layer red, orange, yellow flame style PiBow. This reminds me of some kind of confectionery or sweet, but I can't quite put a finger on what it is.
Fruit salad.
Boiled, something like that, boiled sweets.
Rhubarb and custard type stuff.
Nice.
That looks
There you have
perfect.
it. So basically, start with the red and orange layer, drop the plastic shim in, drop the Pi in, and then drop the yellow layer and the top on. Always keep the numbers aligned in the corner, which is this corner here. So you're stacking the numbers one on top of each other with the numbers facing upwards so you can read them. And that is the secret sauce to successfully building a
Cool.
PiBow.
PiBow version 1.30. If you do get into trouble or you break a layer accidentally, get in touch with sport@pibmaroni.com. When we release new products, there are bugbears and things. So get in touch with us and we'll sort you out. Because generally, we like to look after people. Especially nice people.
The extra little orange bit is just one of the lasered out holes, so when the laser cutter cuts out a little hole, it will leave a plug in that hole. Generally we try and knock those out in assembly, but
Yeah.
they don't always get left behind.
If not, don't eat it.
Don't eat it.
It won't harm you, but it's just not good practice to eat it.
Dispose of it in a responsible manner.
Yep. Okay, well done. That's how you build it. Right, Sandy has made his... Hey, look! Sandy magically appeared. With
Ta-da!
absolutely
By the
no
magic
sound
of,
whatsoever. Like the ninja he is. So, yeah, let's have a look at the results. We have on the side of that kind of thing we showed you earlier in the video, we have now a Pi0 and a camera mounted. And
Ta-da!
you can now get an image every 15 minutes which is slightly upside down, but we'll fix all that.
The pinch. Oh, I thought you could do
No,
a pinch zoom for that.
If you do Microsoft Edge, you might support that because it likes to be touch friendly.
Touch friendly.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get this to upload to our web server somewhere, so you can keep up with the fun.
And certain people can download the photos periodically and create as a lovely time lapse.
Yeah, and then we can work out when stuff's growing.
Oh no, that's.
No.
Oh, is it
No.
working or is it just?
No, it's just toying with us.
Damn you!
Yeah, so this is basically the Raspberry Pi Raspi Still program that's set on time-lapse mode. So that's running in the background, and then there's a Flask, a really simple Flask server set up to display the latest image.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yep. And the safest thing is to get that from our private network here up to public web server, where you guys can watch it as well. And tell us when things are ready, because our idea is that IKEA have made this very lovely simple kit, but it's not automated enough. So we're going to try and take all the final legwork out of growing stuff with cameras and sensors, and yeah.
I wonder if we can actually sense plant growth with.
With OpenCV.
Yeah, I was saying to Paul that if you use the infrared Raspberry Pi camera, when you get the infrared camera, there's a little blue bit of kind of see-through film.
Yeah.
Basically, if you put that over the front of the camera, then it filters out the red, the red colour from the camera. And then if you run it through a bit of software, then it can actually display the kind of the parts of the plant that have got the highest kind of chlorophyll activity.
And I saw somebody was playing
Very
with the Raspberry Pi
scientific.
camera and different wavelengths of the filter to see what difference it had on the image and what it could see and not see, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you
We'll
can
have to
do
see
that.
if we
I think
find
this I think this blue filter, I think Raspberry Pi deliberately included that so that you could actually do this kind of plant monitoring. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I've seen lots of good infrared photography before, but it's kind of which one's best for the photosynthesis of lettuces. We shall find out.
Yeah,
And let people
we'll
know.
investigate
We shall go to the
with
bottom.
science.
Yeah. So this is all part of our nascent space program because we've got to feed ourselves in space. So we'll have this hydroponic gear and lights, and it'll all be fine.
It's worth pointing out that this is just the germinator stage of the hydroponics, isn't it? This is the very first step at which you're getting seeds to sprout in these little plug things, and then you go and pot them in aggregate and do the filming all over again.
And they
Yeah,
float in
that's
water,
slightly different.
is that correct?
These ones don't. These ones use pumice as a growth, as a kind of water soaking up medium. So they do get a bit of algae growth and things. It's not like the raft methods that you see of hydroponics. Some very clever ones of those as well, which I believe Hamish, who made the Mopai, is working on at the moment. So I hear. So we might have to ask him about that.
It's like a hydroponics challenge.
Yeah, I think he's actually doing the one with fish.
How
Because
does that
normally
work?
you have fertiliser,
Yeah.
right? Which is obviously evil and bad and chemical, but useful in space. But you have a pond underneath with fish in it, who kind of eat stuff and just be fishy and put kind of dead fishy bits into the water that help fertilise the plants naturally. So then you pump the water from the fish tank back into the hydroponic system and just keep filtering it through.
I see.
And you don't need fertiliser then.
Does that mean you also don't need traditional filtration for the fish tank, I wonder? Are they kind of
Not sure.
symbiotic in a sense?
We'll have to look it up and talk more about it.
I've done fish keeping, so I know the pain and hell of having a great big tube full of aggregate and different grades of stuff and whatever, and sponges that you have to clean out.
Yep.
Just to keep a big tank of water stable.
Mhm.
So having plants as a result of that instead of just a bucket of sludge would be really quite rewarding, I suppose.
So you do all that, and if you do it very correctly, then the fish only die half the time. That's the way it goes, I think.
Fish never die; they just eat each other, and you get one big fish at the end.
Yeah, and just fish on their side going, my swim bladder doesn't work, and just, yeah.
Fish work.
Yes, make sure you've taken off the protected layers, and your case should not warp very much. Is
Yeah.
that one warped?
I'm not seeing any warping at all in this one. I finger tightened the screws, so I haven't gone ridiculously over tight on them.
Okay,
There's
but it's holding okay.
no give or anything really to it. It's,
Yeah.
Nice, but yeah, don't get power tools and do the screws up to ridiculous extents because you're going to compress them at the edge. And
So watch out for the Pimoroni Internet of Things nodes appearing as we do sensors and cameras and weather stations and growth, and just generally strap things to the outside of the workshop until it bristles with areas.
Until it becomes sentient, you mean?
Yeah. And then we put it on wheels and drive it around. And just kind of glom new bits onto it. Right, anything else we want to talk about this week?
I suppose so. There's some highly interesting geekery that I've come across recently, which is the open source video core bootloader, but I think it's a little bit dark side because it requires the reverse engineering.
Oh, reverse engineering shouldn't be dark side. That's perfectly good practice.
Raspberry Pi open bootloader. Watch as we Google live.
Open source VPU side bootloader for Raspberry Pi. Is that the one?
That must be on. Yeah, Pi open firmware. So it's in its very early fledgling state, but this is
Yep.
Hey presto, this is a GitHub repo that basically has a GPU or video processing unit, even bootloader for the Raspberry Pi. And on the Pi, it's the video core GPU that actually initializes the system and then bootstraps the ARM chip and gets everything set up to boot real software, kind of big, scary software. Now the video core chip isn't terribly well understood kind of outside of the kind of bearded wizard circles. And in order to do anything for it, you really need to get right down there with video core assembly, and it's painful and complicated, but somewhat rewarding. The idea behind this, I think, is that now you can have the initial stage bootloader, and you can load some of your own code in a really light and, of course, open source way. Which is good to some people. The whole thing of it being open source is in itself a feature, and it helps people to understand what's going on at that very fundamental level. So for people who are developing operating systems in Rust, for example, which seems to be a fashion at the time, seems to be in trend at the moment, then it will give them the first stage that they need to load up those operating systems onto the Pi, without having to rely on the boot code bin that's traditionally been the first step. So what I would hope is that this will become the basis for a proper, more fully featured open source bootloader, because at the moment you can't really load Linux with it because there's setup that has to happen in the ARM CPU before it's even suitable for running a higher level operating system. There needs to be CPU speed and registers initialized and stuff that I don't fully understand.
Yeah,
but
the Broadcom documentation is a bit more obscure than D&D Volume 3 or something.
Insurmountable, I think, unless you've got a lot of time to sit down and really get through to it. But this is alongside something else kind of brewing at the moment, which is hopefully an update to the USB loader for the Pi Zero that will allow you to just run code straight on the Pi Zero without even needing a USB memory card as well. So that's completely unrelated to this, but it's just more fun stuff that you can do with bare metal systems design and kind of really wizardy stuff, which is fun.
Fantastic. Right. Well, we're still looking at lipos this week. I think we're doing the final testing, so look out for those on the shop. We'll go poke John after this and see.
Is he trying to make them explode or something? I think they're probably trying to make them explode.
No, Nico's discharged them. They've gone down to something like 2.4 volts without protection circuitry and come back up perfectly alive. So they seem pretty robust. You should probably have a cutout a bit higher than that, but they're surviving perfectly well, and they've got good protection circuitry.
Hurrah!
Hurrah! Right. In the meantime, don't forget to like,
comment,
and subscribe.
Woo! 2 times on the trot.
You're getting the hang of it now.
Yeah.
You're one of us.
See you next week, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.